morning, everybody. Good morning. It is Tammy coming to you live from my office, and I have some weird touch-up thing on. I'm going to have to take that off because you have to look at this whole mess. It's just what it is because I can't stand that weird filter. I didn't. It's Sunday, and this is what it is on Sundays. This is what it looks like on Sundays, and I hope that does not keep you from tuning in, but it is what it is today. I do not vibrate at the frequency of makeup on Sundays. So as you jump into today, this is way more fun with friends, and we're going to talk about a lot of good stuff today. So say hello, tell us where you're watching from, drop us a grateful fed in the comments, and if anyone would like to tune in with us today, let me know as people jump on. I will add some more things up there today. But today we are talking about the power of vibration versus frequency, and it is a good one today. It's a long one today. But I really wanted to focus not just on the woo-woo part of it because I don't want to lose people, because this I think is an important message because there's some scientific proven methods of all of these good fun things. And let me grab my phone up out of the bag. It's off the floor. Say hello as you jump on here. This is so much more fun with friends. It definitely makes me a little happier. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way, cut that volume off, all of that good stuff. And let's talk about the power of vibration versus frequency. And as you do jump on here, please say hello. Tell us where you're watching from. Drop us a grateful fed in the comments, all of those fun things. It's Sunday, so you know what time it is. It's time to gather. It's time to reflect and dig a little deeper into the unforeseen forces that shape our lives, right? That's what I come on Sundays to do, or try to anyhow. And this week locally has been challenging. If you tell us where you're watching from so we can kind of see if you know what I'm talking about here, whether you are watching this on YouTube, whether you're watching this on my personal page or on the Grateful Fed page. It's been a little challenging, and I want to thank first and foremost everyone who has worked behind the scenes to make sure that we have got power back on. Hello, Corinne. I'm so glad you made it on this morning. Tag some folks in the comments for me. Say hello to Corinne, everybody. And we want to thank everybody who has helped get the lights on, keep the lights on. People had to go in the grocery stores and work to make sure people could get food. Everybody together has come together this week and kind of braved the storm and helped their neighbor out. It's been really nice to see. But we're getting prepared for round 2 this week. And because of that, I know how personally I have been feeling. I believe that's where this message kind of resonated from today. So today we're going to talk about vibration and frequency, right? You hear people say, how many people hear me talk about frequency? And if you're not vibing, blah, 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 you've heard that saying, but maybe didn't know what exactly it meant. If you've heard people talk about, that person has good vibes or something feels off, right? But I want you to, today we're going to talk about what that actually means. What are we really feeling? Right? How does this connect to something measurable like frequency, right? How does this connect to something measurable like vibration? So today I'm going to take some time and I'm going to break it down both spiritually, scientifically, and practically. So hopefully when you get off this live today, right, you go out into the week, you will not only understand vibration, but you'll know how to shift your own, right? So you'll know how to change the vibration of your personal self, okay? So everything is vibration. Everything in the universe vibrates. You, me, this room, the room you're in, the trees, the water, the coffee, even the thoughts in your mind. It's all energy moving at different speeds. Everything is energy, right? Everything is energy, and vibration is the speed at which it moves, right? So everything in the universe vibrates, everything. It's all energy moving at different speeds, and that movement, that's what we call frequency. Frequency is measured in hertz, which tells us how many vibrations happen per second, right? So let's look at simple things first and foremost, right? Let's look at the definition, right? Frequency. The definition of frequency is Frequency is how often vibration occurs within a specific period of time. It is measured in hertz, which represents the number of cycles per second. That is just science and math. So a lot of the times whenever I'm talking about the metaphysical or my woo-woo stuff, grounding, frequency, vibration, the healing of like light healing and energy healing, some people look at me like I've got 15 heads walking around the room. And then I'm trying to explain that there's science behind this. There's science behind this. And so this is a very technical, it's very scientific, it's a very mathematical, I gotta have some cool air blowing on me, thing, right? Frequency, by definition, frequency is how often vibration occurs within a specific period of time. It is measured in hertz, which represents the total number of vibrations per cycle, right? Now, what is a vibration? What is vibration? So vibration's definition, vibration is the back and forth or the oscillatory movement of an object, energy, or wave, right? So everything has frequency and hertz and all, and vibration, right? So frequency is measured in hertz, which tells us how many vibrations happen per second. The higher the hertz, the faster the vibration. The lower the hertz, the slower the vibration, right? Now, in sound, we can actually measure this, right? In sound frequencies and sound waves. So low frequencies, which are 20, and I think I have this in here too. Okay, so low frequencies, right? Low frequencies in hertz are going to be 20 to 500. Deep bass sounds, the rumble of thunder, the sound of a heartbeat. This is where fear, sadness, and heavy emotions tend to sit. So in the beginning, when I said, like, you've been around somebody, like that person feels off or the energy feels heavy, that's because the frequency is between 20 and 500 hertz, scientifically, right? So that means it's low frequency. Now, mid-range frequency, so we're measuring this in like sound frequency. So mid-range frequencies are 500 to 2000 hertz. Now you can look at the music you listen to, look at your TV, like what the volume, like all the frequency that things are coming in on. You can determine where these things are. So like mid-range frequencies, the range of human speech, of laughter, and most music, right? And that's kind of just in the middle. It's not high vibing or low vibing. It's just kind of right there. And then you have your high frequencies, which are 2000 plus hertz. Birds chirping, wind chimes, the sound of running water. This is where joy, clarity, and peace tend to live, right? And get this. The science has found that our emotions actually match up with these frequencies. How crazy is that, right? Our emotions match up with these frequencies, whether they're high vibing, low vibing, high frequency, low frequency, right? So fear, guilt, and shame all vibrate at the lowest levels, below 100 hertz, right? Fear, guilt, and shame are vibrating super low. Love, joy, and gratitude vibrate at 500 hertz and above. And deep states of enlightenment and healing can, so whenever we've called in our Reiki, we're like, maybe we're channeling energy, we're in a transcendental meditation, we're elated, maybe right after that fun evening, like all your endorphins are released, you're in that enlightenment, that healing can go beyond, and that goes 700 hertz and above. So when your emotions and how you feel actually carry frequency and vibration. And that's when you're around someone who is constantly negative, you feel heavy, like they're pulling you down, right? Debbie Downers, right? No offense to Debbies out there. There's people that just make you feel heavy. Can anybody say hallelujah, amen, if this is making sense? Did you know there was science behind the weight of how people make you feel and the energy surrounding that? Right? There's like, it's just science. And then when you're around people who radiate love, you feel lighter, like you're floating, right? And I have a lot of like joy comes into my life whenever people, when we've set an intention around this space, that this place vibrates high. And I know when it's not vibrating high because I can feel it, and we clear the energy out, and we reset that, and we lock in, and we ask for the frequency of love and laughter, and we have a blessing we put on the building about how we accept the good and the bad, and we go with the flow, and we understand that we appreciate all of it, so we hold things at a higher vibration, right? So whenever you're around that, when you're around people that are negative and miserable, and misery loves company because they drag you right down. But they say that you are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So if you're not happy in the way that you're living, and the way that what's coming into you, and if you're just an all-around miserable kind of person, like you just feel like you kind of have a lot of complaining to do, I want you to look around, and I want you to see the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I'm going to guarantee you're not so opposite of all your friends. Misery loves company. You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Just think about that. So the next part of this topic, and talking about this, I want to talk about it from like a spirituality, a scientific, and a practicality way, right? So now we've kind of talked about the science of it all, right? The science of it all, what that all means, all the things that are scientific about it. I got some other banners. I'm trying to how to raise your frequency. Perfect. Those are the next ones. I'm just checking what my next graphics are to pull up. But I also want to say, I always want to offer this out. If anyone would like to come on and chat with me in regards to this is a conversation, not me just up here, whatever. I always encourage, if someone has opinions or thoughts or wants to be live with me, if you click the link in the chat, which I'm going to share now, I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to put this in the message, in the comments. So all you have to do is click on that to be able to log on and become with us, and be here if you'd like to be, and have a little say something. If you want to have a little say something, we'd love to hear it, right? So you can always click this live in here if you'd like, this little StreamYard link. If you'd like to click that and come on in and join us, you're more than welcome to. But again, I'm going to put this up here, say hello and tell us for watching. And I'm going to put that little comment up if y'all don't mind. I'm trying to get my technology working there. There we go. Okay. Comments, I want to see those. Let me go back. And the next thing we're going to talk about is why people fall off, right? So using this from a practicality standpoint, and right now there's a lot of division in the world, and people are like mad at each other, and there's some explanations to it, right? There's some explanations for it. So now let's talk about why certain people or situations seem to fall away from your life, right? Not everything, first of all, the universe is, everything in the universe operates on resonance. That means things vibrate at the same frequency that are naturally drawn to each other. Think about radio. This is a good example I came up with last night, right? Think about radio stations. If you want to hear music on 103.7, and you have to be on that frequency, right? That's a frequency. You're tuning in, right? You're tuning in. Hey, Easley, South Carolina. I'm glad you're joining us today. This is a good message for everybody. So if you want to hear 103.7, you have to tune to be on that frequency, to that channel. If you're stuck at 88.1 FM, it doesn't matter how much you want to hear the music that's on 103.7, because you're never going to hear it, because you're not at the same frequency. You're not on the same channel, right? Same with people. If you're growing and vibrating higher, but the people around you are staying at a lower frequency, you're not going to stay in sync. And that's okay. Now, I've used this example before, and I talked about how 2 things can be true, right? Sometimes people are there for meant to be with you for a season. Some relationships fade because your soul has evolved past them. And that's not about being better or being worse. It's just physics. And sometimes you have to let people go and take care of your own vibration, your own frequency, or you get stuck in that some of the 5 people that you hung yourself with. Your friends, the people around you can hold you down. And so often we talked about this, about gripping onto those things that no longer serve us and holding them, right? And I try to make these messages, I ask Source, I ask God, I ask the universe, I'm like, hey, when you're making me a channel, because I have been getting in a lot of, like, I've been very in flow. I feel very, I've been in my routine. It is definitely a practice I've been doing. And the more I stay in flow, the more the blessings are abundant, the more the higher the vibration. Like this week, there's a lot of things to make us all negative, right? There was a lot of things that we could have been miserable about. But I'm going to say, I'm giving a shout out to the people that worked here. Corinne, Tabby, Star. None of them had power. They never complained about coming to work. They came in. You would have never known they didn't have power at home because we just went about the business of doing the business. And everyone stayed in pretty decent mood. We kind of kept our chin up and our head up. And what everybody thought was going to take a week or more to get power back on, right? We all held space. Power's coming back on tonight. We kept our vibration. We kept our frequency. We kept it high, right? So we were able to attract more of the thing that we wanted to see. And we're going to talk about that here in a minute. And, as the goal, and I say this all the time, the goal, my mission statement has always been, like I said, what is my purpose? What is my mission statement? What is the thing that I'm trying to accomplish? And when I say this out loud to the layperson, the person who's like coming in to like talk about, catering or whatever, like, so what's your mission statement? And I'm like, to raise the collective vibration of the collective, every day, to go out and work the power of one. Like every day, it's my responsibility to go try to raise the collective vibration. And some days that has to be me. Every day, it has to start with us. Every day, we have to make sure that where are we vibrating at? Are we able to go out and to spread joy into the world? And if we're not, how do we raise our frequency, right? If we're not in that place, right? Because not all the time are we. And it's hard to go from maybe feeling beat up and depressed and in that lower frequency. And some of you out there might be watching me, maybe not now, maybe later, maybe you are. And you're going, I have a miserable job. I'm struggling to pay my bills. I'm struggling with my kids. I'm struggling with my relationships. My car's messed. They have legitimate heavy things, right? Legitimate, heavy vibrational, lower vibrational things, right? What I'm going to tell you is this: you can raise your frequency. How, like there's lots of ways. I have come up with 5 ways that you can raise your frequency and increase your vibration, right? Raise your frequency, and have good vibes. So let's talk about how we do that. Number 1, I'm going to put the little banners back up here because I've got all the media, right? So I'm going to use them. Let's see here. So where's it at? Okay. Hang on. It's a whole thing. Where is it at? Okay, here we go. How to raise your frequency. All right. Number one, sound and music. Sound and music can literally tune your body to higher frequencies. 432 hertz, if you want to write this down, 432 hertz is known as the healing frequency. Many ancient instruments were tuned to this because it's aligned with nature's vibration. So you can go online and find healing music or healing vibrational music or frequencies, and you can search in healing vibration. It'll come up with meditation noise or white noise or music that is tuned to 432 hertz. Also Google, what music do I listen to? What is the vibration of the song you're listening to, or the hertz of the song you're listening to? 528 hertz is called the love frequency. Studies have shown it promotes DNA to prepare and deep emotional healing. So the 528 can help heal your heart, right? Deep emotional healing. 963 hertz is believed to be the frequency of divine connection and enlightenment. That's why music has such a powerful effect on our mood. It shifts our whole vibration. Sound and music is number one. That's how anybody know that they listen to music. If Elizabeth Clark is on here when she watches this later, she will tell y'all, it's number one thing for her. And everybody knows what affects your mood, what helps raise your vibration. These are things that are going to help you do that. Okay. So number one, sound and music, sound healing, the sound bowls that we play, sound and music. Definitely. Anybody can agree to that. Anybody have a specific, song or genre or kind of music that just kind of lifts you and makes you feel better. You know, like whenever you're out and you're feeling bad and like a good jam comes on, you're like bouncing around and getting into it. Like it immediately makes you feel lighter and better, right? Because you've changed your frequency. All right. So number 2, anybody want to guess what number 2 might be? Number 2 is probably my most favorite way to do it. I know everyone has their own way. I love sound and music, but number 2 is the way that I've told y'all. Like it's a way to stop at any moment and determine in a way to change your vibration or frequency. And I use those words interchangeably personally, but the second way to raise your vibration is through gratitude and love, right? Gratitude and love. If you want to vibrate higher, the easiest way is to tap into gratitude. Science shows that when you focus on what you're thankful for, your brain waves shift to a higher frequency and your whole body benefits. What? That's why I say if you're having a moment, I'm going to teach you a little thing. If you're having a moment, things are just off the charts. You feel yourself getting heavy. You feel your energy shifting because you can feel it. It's obviously you can feel it. It's energy, it's vibration, it's frequency, it's scientific. You can feel the heaviness, right? I want you to take a moment. If you can, get barefooted quickly, get foot or some kind of connection with your skin, your physical body to the earth. That is called grounding. It'll help like even you out. You can anchor yourselves by putting your fingers together. And then I want you to take your 2 middle fingers and pull them down. That will help you feel centered to the earth. And it helps me to kind of like get my chakras aligned. And I want you to do this. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Inhale the good stuff. Exhale the bullshit. When you're doing your inhales, it's inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4. Okay. And I want you to stop and I want you to think of 3 things you are grateful for. I am thankful for the lungs that are coming, the air coming into my lungs, that I have a chance to breathe another breath. There are people that can't do that. Be grateful for that. If you can't think of anything, you can be grateful for the fact that you have air to breathe. Right? I am grateful for seeing another day of sunshine. I am grateful for the rain we are getting today because it is going to ensure that we don't have a drought and that our plants can grow in the spring or whatever the case may be. Finding a reason, we can always find something to be grateful for, and where your mind goes, your energy flows. So gratitude and love is the easiest way to tap into gratitude. If you want to vibrate higher, the easiest way is to tap into gratitude. Science shows that when you focus on what you're thankful for, your brain shifts into a higher frequency and your whole body benefits. Hey, grateful fit, right? That's the whole idea of what we do here. Okay, so number 3 is another one of my favorites. I mean, I love raising my frequency apparently because I constantly have to do it. So going into my sound and my music, we always have music playing, being grateful and being happy and focusing on the things that I do have versus what I don't, and being mindful and meditating, which helps you to stay into that frequency of love and that higher frequency. So mindfulness and meditation, stillness can raise your vibration. When you quiet your mind and get present, stop the chaotic energy that keeps you stuck in low vibrations. So when you do that, it stops the chaotic energy that keeps you stuck in those low vibes. Okay. So mindfulness and meditation is number 3. Now, I've touched on this a little bit with number 4, and I know this is the one that's really hard, right? This is the one that's really hard because this is a reason a lot of adults go no contact with parents. This is the reason that relationships get strained, is because sometimes you really have to just be cautious of who you surround yourself with. Energy is contagious. If you want to stay in high vibration, you have to be around people who reflect that. That's what you talk about, like, oh, I'm so drained. People just take and take and take. I'm like, those are your energy vampires. And the more you allow yourself to be sucked dry, the more they're going to do it. And so who you surround yourself with is very important. Energy is contagious. If you want to stay in a high vibration, you have to be around people who reflect that. I am not saying anybody who's having a rough time, you can't be there. But if you cannot hold your space of a high vibration, I do healing work with several people. Probably more people than I'm really realizing that I heal, whether I do it one-on-one or in group settings or things like this, right? And I'm sorry, my mouth is so dry today. And I tell people all the time, like, I have to be in a space to protect my energy. And that is what all of these protections are for. These protections are for. My diamond necklace, right? Around my throat, my ears protects my throat chakra as well, because I do a lot of speaking and listening, and because I do part of what I do is this. I want to make sure that I always am operating where I've heard twice as much as I've said, and that I speak the truth only, and that I speak where people can hear me. These are all the things that I do when I protect my energy. This grounds me. This reminds me to walk in knowledge that the universe is full of abundance, to always lead with love, to remember my family and why I do this, because it's my family tree bracelet, and then my evil eye to protect all of that. Energy is contagious, and I want to be the energy that you catch, not the energy that you don't want to catch. I want to be that high vibing person in your life, and I understand that when you come to me, sometimes I'll say, hey, you're not going to hear what I have to say. I'm going to give you tools to go reset your energy and then come back and we can talk about it. But I can't get through the force of this negativity, this wall of negativity around you. And until you go and you get rid of that and you meditate, you maybe listen to music, you have to raise your frequency a little bit. That is a personal responsibility, right? The thing that broke you is not your fault, but your responsibility is to do the work to heal from. So if you had something in your life that maybe pulls you to a lower frequency or a lower vibration, that is not your fault. Now, I'm not victim blaming, but I am going to say this. That is not your fault, but it is your responsibility to heal from it so that you don't make your bullshit somebody else's and pull the energy of the world down. And a lot of people are stuck in that victim frequency, that victim mentality frequency. And if everything wrong in your life, you can point to somebody else and blame it on them, you are living in victim mentality. You're not owning your own life, because every single one of us, every good, every bad thing that is in our life is, as we decided it before we came here, our souls signed a contract and said, I want to do that. I want to go to earth and be in this human, the soul wants to inhabit this body and go through all of these things. Now, when you come into the body, your soul forgets that you did that. But the life that you are living is directly a choice that you have made. Your soul has made it a prior lifetime. There's lessons to be learned. And there's your responsibility to heal through it and to work through it and to kind of, work through those karmic contracts that you have. So whenever I'm like, such and such, maybe somebody didn't pay me for something, right? And I'm like, they didn't pay me. I'm like, you know what? I, as a business owner, did not do the correct thing by making sure that there was clear and concise billing and expectations and all of that. I should get the money first. And that was my fault for maybe trusting somebody I shouldn't. See what I'm saying? Like, I don't put any ownership of anything on anybody else. Now, what I say is this. I can choose to exchange energy with someone or not. And because energy is contagious, I say I love everybody, but sometimes I got to love you from the balcony. Sometimes, I want everybody to eat, but not everybody's going to sit at my table and eat with me. Make sense? Like, I'm not saying don't love your neighbor, but not everybody's meant to be inside your circle of five, right? Some people have to be loved from a distance, and that's okay. And I'm not saying that you should take none of that. I'm saying I own my choices in it, but then I can choose, like, no is a complete sentence, and I'm choosing not to exchange energy. And if somebody says, why not? I'm like, we don't vibrate at the same level right now. And when you tell people that, that's what I'm doing. I've told people that lately. I'm like, hey, like, da-da-da. I'm like, nah. I was like, honestly, your vibe and my vibe are just not the same thing. That is not my frequency. I don't resonate at that level. And they're like, what does that mean? And I'm like, if you understood what that meant, I'd be there. But because you don't, we can't. And I want to make sure that people are understanding what I'm talking about and they can recognize this in a more spiritual plus, there's some science behind all this, right? So mindfulness and meditation, who you surround yourself with. And number five is a big one right now. Number 5 is a big giant one right now. And number 5 is, right? Number 5, how to raise your frequency, is what you consume. And I'm not just talking about food. There are highly vibrational foods. That's why we cook with whole foods. That's why we use a lot of vegetables and everything. But it's not just about what you consume. It's not just about those things. It's about what you watch, what you listen to, what you scroll through. Everything has a frequency. Be mindful of what you're feeling. Oh, I'm sorry. Be mindful of what you're feeding your energy. If you're staying on the news, if you're staying in all the nasty chats on social media, if you're looking at all that stuff, that is going to bring you down. And that is the goal, right, of dark is against the light, is to make the darkness come to, good and evil, light and dark, all the things, right and wrong. So what you consume. And this world is crazy, full of things to consume. And where your mind goes, your energy flows. And if they've got you worried about everything and you're reeling, your vibration is going to be stuck in that lower vibration, right? You're going to be stuck down there in that low, that 220 to 500 hertz, right? Thunder, heartbeat, fear, sadness, heavy emotions, right? We want to be, high frequency. We want to be mid frequency. We want to have laughter, love, music, all of those things. So that is, the 5 ways to raise your frequency. Does anybody else have anything that they think helps to raise their vibration or raise their frequency? Because there's probably more than 5 ways to do it. That's just 5 ways that I came up with through my mindfulness and meditation and my channeling in source, right? So you can feel your energy. How many of you, yes, no, likes, loves, whatever, when you feel the energy shift in a room, when you walk into, like, maybe people have been arguing and, like, you're coming over for something and the people that are maybe not getting along so well, you walk into their space and you can feel the energy, right? Or how many times have you walked into a space and it's been full of excitement and you maybe were like in a pissy mood in the parking lot, but you walked into the door and all of a sudden that place just made you feel right? And, that's not another subject. That's a really good thing, right? But here's the thing. There's a difference between masking and meditating. And sometimes we need to, I don't believe all the time that cannabis will not, or any kind of medicinal thing, usually does not by itself raise your frequency or your vibration. What it does, and I will say this, is that the endocannabinoid system is the way that connects your mind, body, and soul. The endocannabinoid system is what is really the controller of the entire body. A long time ago, and until, they're still trying to play it off as the brain and the nervous system. But about 10 years ago, they did some research and found that the actual system in the body that keeps it in homeostasis or brings it back to center is the endocannabinoid system. And folks who need the medicinal help that we need, people who utilize cannabis and THC and CBD and the hemp plant in all its forms, and terpenes and all these other amazing things there where you can find things that promote and encourage the endocannabinoid. You're going to find CBDs and a lot of different things. You're going to find that what that does is it allows your body to come back to center so that you can be mindful and meditate and connect. Then you raise your vibration through the ability to kind of shut out the chaos. So for me, like, pain is a low vibration for me. Anxiety and sleep are lower vibration things. So the cannabis and the THC and the things that I use for medicine allow me to, like, raise my vibration through mindfulness and meditation, and to sit in stillness with myself, because I'm able to do that with the help of that, as like to help my endocannabinoid system kind of boot itself and connect the mind, body, and soul, where then you can use your mind and the mindfulness to heal your body. So when I use cannabis, what I use it for is to help my endocannabinoid system do its thing, to repair at the cellular level. Yes, exactly. A gateway to higher frequencies. It allows you to tap into that because it allows you to quiet your mind. So a lot of people that utilize cannabis are doing it for ADHD and maybe some other, maybe some more mental things, like our mental health things, anxiety, depression, mania, all that stuff to kind of center themselves. And that's because that would all be handled if the endocannabinoid system was working right within your body. You should go look at the endocannabinoid system and all the amazing things that it does. It basically helps you to connect your mind, body, and spirit all as one thing. So as we step into this new week, I want you to think about this, okay? What is your frequency, right? What is your frequency? I want you to maybe check in with yourself, right? And we had low, mid, high, right? Low was that heavy, Mid was like, okay, everything just kind of feels all right, nothing too big, nothing too bad. And then high is like, hey, I am enlightened today. I am moving through feeling light and floaty in the world. Check in with yourself throughout the day, throughout the week. Get up in the morning, start a routine. I have a little check in with like I have a gratitude journal. You know, I have journals everywhere, but I have one that's kind of like, what's today's word of the day? It's every morning, it kind of gets like a fill it out journal. So people that tell me like I have trouble getting things out of my writing and stuff, the journal that I have is basically a self check-in journal, and you just fill out like a form every day. And it gives you a place to like put some extra thoughts and in the things. But start the one for yourself. Like, do you feel like you're vibing high, vibing low? Then it helps you to adjust your routine throughout the day, right? Are you vibrating at a level that attracts joy and love? Or are you stuck in fear, anger, and doubt? And if you're at a low frequency right now, you know that you have the power to shift it. I gave you 5 ways to do that, right? You don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to keep carrying the energy that doesn't serve you. Just like tuning a radio, all you have to do is adjust your frequency, right? Just tune your radio station. So let's get into this week by vibrating higher, living lighter, and choosing energy that aligns with who we truly are, right? And that's my quote for today, right? My affirmation is that I'm approaching this week vibrating higher, living lighter, and choosing the energy that aligns with who I truly am. So be it and so it is. And if you claim that, say, I claim that energy this week. This week, I am going to go into the world vibrating higher. I'm going to live lighter, and I'm going to choose the energy that aligns with who I truly am. Now, as we always do each week, right? As we always do each week, we are going to come in, and I'm going to take this stuff off here. I am going to put this back up, though. That right there back up. We're going to pull our crystal affirmation card, and our crystal affirmation card each week just gives us some energy in which to operate in the world, which is just weird. My whole tissue box just like jumped off of my printer. Now I'm going to encourage everyone to remember this week, if you are feeling out of sorts, if you find yourself seeping into some negativity, if you find yourself feeling like you're not vibrating at the frequency in which you want to, ground yourself, say, God, I ask you to come in and to help me to lift this heaviness. Help me to vibrate at a level that is pleasing to you. Source, God, universe, Allah, Buddha, whatever word you use, right? Ask for that. That's your prayer. That's your daily devotional prayer. And then sit in silence and meditate and listen for God's answer. Praying is asking. Meditating is waiting for the answer and listening. So as you go into this week and if you feel that, they're calling for more snow this week. There's been flooding and winds coming in this afternoon, possibly, like Corinne said, sitting in the dark, right? Corinne, if you need to come over and have some dinner with us tonight, eat some meat. You can't have meat left, never mind. You know, we have power right now. We have a generator. We got y'all. As you go into this week, remember, this too shall pass. We cannot control what happens to us. We can control how we react what happens and how we work through it. Doing so with a positive attitude, I think, if you're going to, might as well not be miserable, right? Might as well not live at that lower frequency. So let's try to make this a good one, y'all. Let's try to make this a good week. Go out and have a great week right on purpose, right? And we're going to pull our affirmation card. And as we do so, I would ask that each of you just take a few moments to do this 4 inhales up. Calm your energy. Change your vibration. Change the frequency. Ooh, that popped out. All right. Pink opal. Be kind to yourself, right? Be kind to yourself. Because I'm going to tell you, like, vibrating at a low frequency is not being kind to yourself. It is, I feel like, you know how they talk like when you're in space, you're up higher in the elevations of space. The gravity is less, you're kind of just floating and there's no weight on you, right? And then like the bigger the planet or whatever, the more the closer to the sun, I guess, the more gravity pulls on you. So don't live on Venus, right? You know, live in space, have lighter vibration. You have the option to decide that. So Peak Opal says to be kind to yourself is the one that popped out on us today. Let's see what this Pink Opal has to say from that standpoint. And then I'm going to get off here today. I'm going to make a plan for the week, put some groceries away, and then get home for the rest of the day to get myself prepared for this pending stuff that's coming, right? Be kind to yourself. I'm going to read this up here now. Pink Opal. Cut yourself some slack. The way you talk to yourself can either lift up or tear you down. So be internal dialogue. Honor yourself. Be your own cheerleader. I love that. Be your own cheerleader. Forgive yourself and remain your own best friend through the ups and downs of life. Make a conscious shift to speak to yourself with more compassion, empathy, and kindness. Treat yourself as well as you would others, or the way that you would expect others to treat you. It all starts with your own inner voice. By showing yourself sensitivity, understanding, and gentleness, you can learn to be kinder and more compassionate towards others as well. Core questions. How do you talk to yourself? Would you speak to others the way you speak to yourself? Would you treat others the way you treat yourself? Those are good questions, right? Would you treat others the way you treat yourself? Because that's definitely a good way to kind of start this process of checking in with yourself each day when you're doing this journal, right? How are you vibrating today? Are you going to remember to treat yourself with kindness today? Because a lot of the times we are our own worst enemy, and the way that we talk to ourselves and the way that we project our own shit on other people is the problem. And it starts with you. And I feel like we talk about today of raising the collective vibration and the frequency. And that is going to start with each individual person and the way that you speak to yourself. And when I say it starts with you, it starts with this. It starts with you being kind to yourself, giving yourself the grace you give others. And that's how you start with the raising of the frequency and the vibration, right? You are part of the collective, right? Crystal actions are affirmation today. So write down 3 things that you love about yourself and read them aloud in the morning and at night. I honor myself. I love that. I would like y'all all to claim that in the comments. I honor myself. And today, write down 3 things you love about yourself and read them aloud in the morning and at night. And that is the Pink Opal today. Pink Opal. I hope that you will go out this week and you will be kind to yourself. You will be cognizant of the vibration and the frequency that you put out into the earth and that what is surrounding you so that you can protect your energy. We are living in a weird and wonky time right now. And there's no way of talking around that. You know, I'm not going to sit here and woo-woo our way through that the world is not upside down and backwards, and there's war, and there's famine, and there's anger, and there's vibration stuff happening. And every day I am going to encourage you, if you're part of this crazy crew that we have right here, the TAM Unity, if you're on YouTube or watching this, or you're in our hometown to be Healing Haven, whatever it may be, I'm going to encourage you to do the same thing I'm going to do. Is I'm going to be a light. I'm going to choose every day to go out and to be the best me that I can be. What I say is at Hometown Hippie Healing Haven, we embrace the profound belief that change begins with one. Each day, we strive to create a world where the act of unconditional love is just what we do. And I appreciate everyone for tuning in. And I know that we don't all have the same belief systems. I know that we don't always agree on everything or see eye to eye. We don't have to. But what we have to do as a world and as a collective is we have to have some personal accountability. And if nothing else, if every individual person is responsible for raising their own frequency, then it changes automatically. I am no longer going to dull my shine for anyone. I encourage you to do the same. I am going to be the bright spot that I've wanted to be and that I've been a little bit afraid to be lately. Just the world's been weird and I've let it pour into me versus me pouring into it. And that's changing. And I've been very diligent over this year most of this year. You know, last year was really tough. I went through a little shadow phase, but I understand how to shift my frequency, how to change my vibration, and I'm very much doing that. And I'm encouraging each of you to do that. So I love y'all. Let's make it a good one this week. Thank you for watching. And as always, we're going to end our live with a little peace, a little love, and a little feast, y'all. And as always, stay elevated. Till next time, I'm Tammy. Be on the lookout for some newsletters coming out. Love you.